So menopause, I, from my perspective, it's certainly not the end of life as I know it. It's just a new chapter in terms of menopause and myself. I know personally I experienced every single symptom. Well, I say every single symptom. I experienced so many symptoms, from the hot flushes where you would wake up in the middle of the night and your PJs would be soaking wet from your neck to your ankles and you're having to get up and change, from aching joints, swollen legs, bad digestion, thinning hair, bad skin, dry skin, sore skin, irritated skin, to brain fog. And don't even got me started on brain fog, concentration levels. Having been a person who has always been extremely focused, extremely structured. Have always been the person who would be on time, would organize the holiday, would have all the paperwork, would know what we're doing, to forgetting why I walked into a room and what I walked into that room to do. So, you know, it's been an interesting journey. And at first I would say, slightly ashamed to talk about it, and that's a bizarre thing to say because it's a known, sorry, there's a little hair, it's a medical condition that every single woman goes through, and yet when I started this journey 7-8 years ago, it just wasn't something that was really talking about much in the UK. And it wasn't until the likes of Davina McCall, etc., started doing their documentaries. It wasn't until, you know, there were lots more shows coming up about it, that people were being more open about it. And one of the most interesting things, you know, I found when I first went to the doctor, and my journey into menopause was extremely big, in that I'd been on the contraceptive pill most of my life. At the age of 50, my very sweet but very young doctor said to me, you're a bit too old now to be on the combined pill. We're going to put you on the progesterone only pill, which is POP. And I thought, okay, well, you know, it's just that next stage. I went on the progesterone only pill, and honestly, it was like hitting a brick wall. All these symptoms came from nowhere, and I think it's because my body had been masking it with the combined pill. So I went to the doctor and I said, I'm having all these symptoms. And she did a test me. She went, oh, you might be perimenopause. We'll just have a little look. We'll have a tie. And let me tell you, this was a very beautiful, glamorous, I would say late 30s, early 40s doctor at this stage. Beautiful hair. Usually doctors are quite formal, but this one was glamorous. So of course I felt slightly inadequate myself. You know, I'm going in there to talk about my skin and my hair and putting on weight, and she's sitting there in her beautiful little two-piece with her little high heels, and her lovely coiffed hair. Just looked beautiful. Anyway, went back when the results came in, and not only was I not in perimenopausal, she said that the level of my hormones took me slap bang into the middle of the menopause. So therefore, hence the reason my symptoms were just so there. And her advice to me that day was, now I'm quite shocked about it now when I think about it, her advice to me was, well, I can give you some iron tablets for you know, your hair, if your hair's feeling a bit limp and you're losing a bit of your hair. And I said at the time, what about some HRT? And she went, oh, and she sucked the air in through her teeth. And I just looked at her, and you know, I thought, I am being gaslit by a female doctor who obviously is too young and doesn't understand what it's like to go through this. But not only am I in the menopause, I'm not just at the beginning of it, I'm slap bang in the middle of it. And she had no understanding, no idea exactly what I was going through, and was basically just going to send me off with a few iron tablets. Suffice to say, I said no, very politely. I would like some HRT, and that was the start of my journey with the menopause and with HRT. And then I was in a job at the time where I had a fantastic boss, and I was able to talk to him about it. I never laboured on the subject, and we had a lot of banter around all sorts of things. And obviously he was married, although him and his wife, good 10 years younger than me, so didn't quite appreciate, but he took it on board, and he would always listen to me, and that's all I ever needed. I've never had to take time off work for the menopause, because obviously I've taken stuff to help me, and I'm not saying that everybody should be taking stuff like HRT, because I think we are all individual and we're all part of this journey, women, in terms of what we need, because every one of us will be suffering with it in a different way from each other. And that's the point I want to make, is we don't need to compare, we don't need to criticize ourselves. The self-doubt is already there, the self-consciousness is already there, and I think we just need to reach out and support each other, and that's what I've found, and it's been wonderful. I think there's been a big shift for the last 7-8 years now, to the point where I openly talk about it in the work environment. I'm in a different role now. My boss now, his wife, I don't believe is in the menopause, but I'm quite open, and he's quite supportive. And even though sometimes I'm still a little bit hesitant to say things, I think if we're not raising the gauntlet, if we're not being honest, then we're just gaslighting ourselves, and we need to support ourselves. And these things that are happening to us and to our bodies are very real, and are having a major impact on us, and we need a bit of self-care and a bit of self-love. So hence I just thought I'd reach out and make a little video and just say, we're not alone. There's such a large community out there of women who are already in this position, and by the time our daughters get to this age, it will be commonplace. It'll not be the little whispered secret in the background as to what's happening. Oh, she's in the menopause, or anything like that. So I'm here for the journey.